Good evening, everyone. I am ESR number 5, and my research project will be focused on the characterization of bioactive compounds in organic beekeeping. This project will be mainly developed at Kisiklinia in Madrid and at the University of Almería. Briefly introducing me, my name is Antonietta Carrera, I'm 25 and I'm from Naples in the south of Italy. I graduated last March in chemical sciences, and apart from chemistry, I'm really interested in sports, music, art, travels, and as you can probably infer from the photo, food. I always say that I started studying chemistry without really knowing what chemistry is, but I immediately fell in love with it. During the preparation of my bachelor's thesis, I got in touch with mass spectrometry for the first time, discovering just a few of its potentialities in the field of clinical diagnosis. Later on, thanks to an internship in the chemistry laboratory of the Chamber of Commerce of Naples, I discovered the world of food analysis, and it interested me at a point that I decided to focus my master's thesis on the application of mass spectrometry to food matrices, especially for metabolomics and proteomics analysis. Given my background, when I found out about FoodTraNet, I was immediately determined to apply for it. In fact, it appeared to me as a perfect opportunity to combine two big interests of mine, like the application of mass spectrometry to food analysis and the study of bioactive compounds in natural foods and supplements, but also to achieve my goals of learning more about the latest mass spectrometry techniques and their application in food research, and of course of actively contributing to this field of research. Regarding my research project, as I previously mentioned, it will regard the characterization of bioactive compounds in organic beekeeping. Particularly, the main focus of the project will be bee pollen. Bee pollen is a mixture of flower pollen and honeybees' salivary secretions. It is used for royal jelly production or directly as food for bees. In fact, it is a great source of nutrients as it contains sugars, proteins, vitamins, and much more. Furthermore, several studies have proven that bee pollen has huge therapeutic properties that derive from its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial properties. Nowadays, bee pollen is increasingly used in livestock nutrition as food, supplement, and as an alternative to antibiotics, which have been prohibited in the European Union as growth promoters since 2006. Despite its several positive aspects, bee pollen can contain natural toxic compounds like pyrrolizidine alkaloids that are naturally derived from plants and mycotoxins that are produced by inadequate handling of pollen, but also contaminants like persistent organic pollutants and pesticides. All of these compounds represent a danger for people and animals' health, and their concentration in pollen needs to be strictly evaluated. However, at present, there are no internationally shared norms for bee pollen quality and for its content of hazardous compounds. For these reasons, the main goal of this research project will be to provide new data about natural compounds and food safety risk for bee pollen of different geographical origins. This will be achieved in two different phases. During the first phase, different samples of pollen will be analyzed to assess their content of phytochemicals like polyphenols, but also of toxic compounds and contaminants. These analyses will be initially carried out by spectrophotometric assays to make a general screening of these compounds, and then by targeted and untargeted mass spectrometry to have a more specific identification and quantification of target compounds. During the second phase, the samples will be subjected to pesticide residues analysis by high-resolution mass spectrometry, and bee pollen samples from different countries will be characterized by isotope ratio mass spectrometry. Both phases will lead to the final goal of creating a database of the main natural compounds found in pollen according to its geographical origin, but also according to the type of beekeeping it comes from, if organic or not. This will hopefully lead to a better understanding of the composition of bee pollen in natural compounds and contaminants, to clarify the risk factors associated with bee pollen consumption both for animals and humans, and to establish a chemical analysis basis to support a safer production, marketing and labeling of bee pollen. This will also introduce new uses as supplement or ingredient for bee pollen in both human and animal diets. Thanks for your attention. Of course, I'm available to answer to any further question, and good luck to all the other researchers.